in order to gain the attention of my CEO husband. I jumped off a tall building. I didn't die from the fall, but instead, I ended up with amnesia. My memory froze at 18 years old. The assistant told me I had once been Oliver's simp, even tolerating his affair with Luna. What nonsense. I only remember myself as the school's untouchable beauty. He was the simp, my relentless admirer. I dialed his number. His indifference made my heart sink to the bottom. If he doesn't love me, fine, divorce. I'll show him how determined I am. Chapter 1. Madam, Mr. Oliver is very busy. Even if you attempt suicide or pretend to have amnesia, it's useless. He can't come to accompany you. Accompany me? Do I look like I need him? Hearing from the assistant how much I had tolerated Oliver over the years, even I found it ridiculous. Now, just to get Oliver's attention, I had staged a suicide attempt and ended up losing my memory. The only thought in my mind now was to get a divorce. Seeing how insistent I was on finding Oliver, the assistant looked troubled, helpless. He called Oliver. Oliver, where are you? I snatched the phone from the assistant. There was a brief silence on the other end when Oliver heard my voice, clearly uncomfortable with my new, completely different tone. He said, Anna, what kind of crazy act are you pulling now? Crazy act? I'll show you crazy, you jerk. I'm divorcing you. Divorce. I screamed into the phone. A weary voice came from the other end. What are you throwing a tantrum about this time, you stupid woman? Before I could blow up, he hung up. Listening to the beeping tone, I felt my chest rise and fall in anger. What kind of attitude was that? Was this how he had treated me after marriage? Back then, I had so many admirers. How did I lose my mind and end up marrying such an idiot? I forced the assistant to drive me to him, unable to resist me. He drove home. The facial recognition system at the door allowed me easy entry. As soon as I pushed the door open, I heard a soft, sweet female voice inside. Oliver, you're back? The assistant sensed something was wrong and coughed deliberately behind me. Did you catch a cold? A woman walked out in pajamas. When she saw me standing at the door, she looked shocked at first but quickly forced a calm expression. Who is she? Why is she in our house? I asked the assistant suspiciously. The assistant immediately replied, This is Luna. At that moment, the front door clicked open, and Oliver walked in. I had to check 2 pharmacies before I found some fever patches. Anna, why are you here? His first sentence was gentle and caring, but the next one turned cold and stiff. Luna smiled sweetly as she walked toward me. Sis-in-law, boss, you're back. Chapter 2. If I didn't come back, would I have to watch a hen take over the nest? I said bluntly. Oliver was stunned at first, then said, Anna, you're getting it all wrong. She just came over as a guest. Suddenly felt feverish, so I went to buy her some fever patches. Feverish? And she's strolling around my house in pajamas like she owns the place? The old me might have tolerated this kind of thing. I'm the real lady of this house. Fever? Looks more like she's just heat-struck. Get the hell out, I said to Luna without a trace of politeness. Oliver. Luna's voice quivered like she was about to cry. Oliver frowned and barked. Anna, are you crazy again? Can't you live without causing drama? I stared coldly at the so-called husband in front of me. Oliver, have you forgotten who's the real owner of this house? Oliver froze, clearly not used to my sudden change in attitude. He had long been spoiled by my past submissiveness. If sister-in-law doesn't welcome me, I'll leave. Luna clutched her forehead weakly. Who the hell was she pretending for? Oliver stepped protectively in front of Luna. Leave? You're still sick. You need to rest. I sneered. So what, Oliver? If she stays, am I supposed to leave to make room for you too? Oliver roared. Anna, what the hell is wrong with you? Faking suicide, pretending amnesia, and now this passive-aggressive nonsense? You're in your 30s, grow up already. I looked at Oliver's angry face and found it laughable. No matter how much I once loved him, the current me had no memories of that. No feelings for him at all. I only remembered that back in college, he was the one chasing after me with all his heart. Now, here he was, shamelessly parading his mistress in my home. If you're sick, Go to a hospital. Don't you dare cling onto someone else's house. Hearing my sharp words, Luna shrank behind Oliver, begging pitifully, I'll leave, okay? Oliver's chest heaved furiously, his eyes practically spitting fire. Anna, you're absolutely insane. The me who used to obey his every word suddenly turned tough, and Oliver couldn't get used to it. Luna's tears fell silently as she whimpered behind him. This only fueled Oliver's anger even more. He raised his hand high, as if he was going to slap me, but after a moment, he slowly lowered it and pointed at my nose. Look at yourself, you're just a shrew now. A shrew? Was that what I had become in his eyes after marriage? Without another word, he left with Luna, slamming the door so hard it shook the entire house. I didn't even get the chance to bring up the divorce. Chapter 3. After dropping Luna off, Oliver returned. This is another one of your schemes, isn't it? He gave me a strange look, but seeing nothing unusual, he sighed helplessly. I brought Luna back because she's sick and had no one to take care of her. You know how bad things are with her family. Stop being jealous for no reason, will you? Just be good. As he spoke, he stepped forward, trying to pull me into his arms. When his lips were about to touch mine, I shoved him away. Anna, trust me, it won't happen again, he promised. I turned my face away coldly. Whatever. Even if you two lived together, what does it have to do with me? Honestly, thank goodness I lost my memory. Otherwise, I would have never seen his true colors or realized how pathetically I had been living. Anna, what are you making a scene for? I already explained everything. There's no need for that. Oliver, let's just get divorced. Oliver stared at me in utter shock, as if he had just heard something terrifying. Suddenly, a thought crossed his mind. So, the assistant said you really tried to kill yourself? And the amnesia, it's real too? He stepped forward, grabbing my arm to inspect me. I coldly shook him off. Don't touch me. Divorce has nothing to do with memory loss. Divorce, I repeated firmly. Divorce? Oliver looked at me suspiciously. You faked suicide. Now you have amnesia. And now you're talking about divorce? What kind of mind game are you playing? Chapter 4. Mind game? Fine, let's head to the Civil Affairs Bureau right now. I snapped. Look at yourself. Just look at what you've become. Oliver pushed my shoulder in frustration. He continued, I already apologized to Luna for you. She's willing to give you a second chance. There's a banquet coming up. If you apologize to her in public, she'll forgive you. Apologize to his mistress? No way. I slammed the door and locked myself inside the room. When the day of the banquet arrived, Oliver insisted on dragging me along, since he wanted to humiliate me in public. Then I would make sure he lost face too. This isn't the place for someone like you. Luna sneered as soon as she saw me. Oliver smiled at her and said, Luna, I brought your sister-in-law here to apologize to you. Seeing Luna standing still, he turned to me and said, Luna is right here. Show some sincerity and apologize. He spoke with determination. Apologize? Screw that. I snapped without any politeness. Some spoiled princess? What the hell did that have to do with me? Hearing my outburst, Luna stomped her foot in anger. Oliver, did you hear her? Oliver didn't expect me to curse. He was stunned at first. Then his face flushed with rage. What the hell are you doing? He glared at me. Look around. Do you know where we are? Apologize. Apologize? Who the hell did he think he was? He trembled with fury. I sneered at him, but my body tensed instinctively. Was it some old habit? Seeing that Oliver was genuinely angry, Luna immediately moved to comfort him. Oliver, don't be mad. Why don't you go greet the uncles over there? I'll have a quick word with sister-in-law. As she spoke, Luna shot me a mocking glance, full of provocation. Oliver still hesitated. But after throwing me a warning, Anna, don't go too far, he turned and left. Go too far? I hadn't even started yet. Watching him walk away, I thought, it's not crowded enough yet. I should wait a little longer. Luna, meanwhile, said sarcastically, what's wrong, sis? Jealous? I found her annoying and didn't even bother replying. Get lost. I said coldly. My attitude clearly enraged her. Luna gritted her teeth, her eyes flashing with malice. Out of the corner of her eye, she spotted the nearby fountain. Suddenly, she shrieked. Anna, what are you doing? I froze, confused, before I could react. Luna grabbed my arm and dragged me, along with herself, straight into the fountain. I couldn't swim and started flailing in panic. Meanwhile, Luna thrashed her arms around and screamed for help. Sis, how could you do this to me? Help! Save me! Oliver! Water rushed into my mouth and nose. I began to panic. Through the splashes, I saw Oliver rushing toward the water, but he didn't swim toward me. He swam straight to Luna. I endured the suffocating feeling under the water. Was I really about to die? After finally losing my memory, seeing the truth, and recognizing a scumbag for what he was I going to drown here? When I woke up, I realized it wasn't Oliver who saved me. It was the security guards, and my husband, Oliver. He was right next to Luna, saving her. Luna, now awake, weakly leaned her head against his chest. Oliver comforted her gently. It's okay now. It's okay. It's my fault. I made sister-in-law angry, Luna said, glancing at me deliberately. Oliver kept holding her, whispering reassurances. Only after a while did he finally notice me. Lying not far away, he pushed through the crowd, walked over, frowned, and asked, "Still alive?" "I'm not dead," I said coldly, forcing myself to stand. I stared at him and at Luna, who had set me up, without any warmth. All I felt inside was endless humiliation and rage. His own wife had been pushed into the water, and he didn't save me? He chose to save another woman instead? This was my wonderful husband? I already apologized to sister-in-law, Luna whimpered weakly. But she still won't forgive me. What should I do? Sister-in-law has a lot of strength. She just gave me a little push and I fell into the water. It must be something I did wrong. That's why she's angry. Listening to Luna's words, Oliver, unable to hold back his fury any longer, rushed toward me. Without warning, slap. His palm struck my face hard. You vicious woman. Silence fell over the entire scene, seeing tears fill my eyes. Oliver stiffly ordered, "Get lost." My cheek burned with pain. The crowd around us grew bigger and bigger, covering my face. I finally stopped tolerating everything. Oliver, do you really think I can't live without you? Over the years, have you gotten so used to my kindness that you think you can trample all over my dignity? I shouted at the top of my lungs. Oliver, I want a divorce. You must be kidding. The shock was clear on everyone's faces. They had seen me obey Oliver's every word before. No one ever imagined I would dare say this. I no longer cared about anyone. I turned around and left. Behind me, I heard Oliver roaring furiously. Anna, come back here. The night wind was freezing, and my clothes were soaked through. I walked out into the darkness, not knowing where to go. Suddenly, a familiar voice called from behind me. Ma'am, quick, get in the car. Chapter 5. It was the assistant. He saw me, completely soaked, and urged me anxiously to get into the car. If Oliver sent you here, that bastard, then you can get lost too. My harsh words didn't anger him. Instead, he chuckled softly. Don't worry, this time, no one sent me. Hearing that, I finally got into his car. Inside, there were brand new women's clothes neatly laid out. I asked tentatively, "These clothes, you didn't buy them for me, did you?" The assistant nodded. That genuinely surprised me. I'll park up ahead. You can change in the car. I'll stand guard outside. The assistant was the first person I saw after losing my memory. He understood my condition very well. After changing clothes, "Come with me somewhere," he said, without waiting for my consent. He started the car and drove me near a university. Does anything look familiar? I got out of the car and looked around this strange place. With my memory gone, nothing rang a bell. It was raining heavily that day. He began telling a story. A girl was hit by a car and collapsed on the road. The boy who secretly liked her happened to pass by. He carried her on his back, running for a long time. before finally getting her to a hospital. When the girl woke up at the hospital, she mistakenly thought someone else saved her, one of her suitors. They eventually started dating, and naturally, ended up married. The assistant gave me a bitter smile. "What's the point of telling me this story?" I asked. He sighed and changed his tone. "This was the university you attended. Don't you want to take a look inside? Maybe you'll recover some memories." I stared at the familiar yet unfamiliar campus, trying hard to recall something. My head began to spin. Fragments of memories slowly surfaced. Suddenly, I turned sharply toward the assistant. "You're Pablo?" He looked at me, disbelief filling his eyes, followed by overwhelming joy. "You remember me?" I smiled faintly. "In class, you barely spoke. You were almost invisible, but your family was rich. How did you end up as an assistant?" At my question, a look of disappointment crossed his face. He let out a long, soft sigh. Chapter 6. Oliver seemed to have gone mad, calling me over and over again. The constant vibration of the phone annoyed me, so I edited a message on WeChat and sent it to him. "Stop calling me. Don't ever contact me again. Let's just agree on a time to meet at the Civil Affairs Bureau." Oliver didn't reply. Instead, he called Pablo. "Where is she right now?" he demanded. Pablo hesitated, only to be met with Oliver's furious roar. "Don't you dare stutter with me. Someone saw you dragging her away. Tell me, have you two been sneaking around behind my back all along?" Pablo quickly tried to explain. "Bro, after all these years by your side, I've never wanted anything from you. How can you say that about your own brother?" Oliver sneered over the phone. "Don't think I don't know. You've been lusting after her all along. You left a massive family business behind, pretending you were content to be my little assistant. Tell me the truth. You've been screwing around with her behind my back, haven't you? You two damn adulterers." I heard every word loud and clear, because I was standing right next to Pablo. Pablo hung up, his face full of anger. Seeing my dark expression, he softly tried to comfort me. "That's just how he is. Don't take it to heart. If you just go home and apologize, everything will go back to the way it was." "Go back to him? Never," I said firmly. Oliver, somehow having tracked our location, showed up in front of the university with a group of men, blocking Pablo and me in completely. He stepped slowly out of the car, caught red-handed. "Didn't I? You two damn adulterers. So that's why you were so dead set against me. You were playing me for a fool." Saying that, Oliver stormed toward me, grabbing my arm roughly. "Come home with me." He yanked me so hard that I cried out in pain. "Ah, let go of me. Let her go." "I've already called the police," Pablo shouted. Oliver stared at Pablo, his eyes full of disbelief. "Pablo, you're my brother, and you're calling the cops over some cheap whore?" I yanked free from Oliver's grasp, looking at the two men with a complicated expression. "Brothers?" My mind struggled to process. Pablo's eyes turned red as he looked at Oliver. "We are brothers, but I have my own conscience too. All these years, I saw everything she did for you. And what did you do for her? She lowered herself into the dirt for you, and you just trampled her even harder. Others may not know the truth, but I saw it with my own eyes. You and Luna, always clinging to each other." Oliver's forehead veins bulged with rage. He roared, "That's fucking slander. Slander or not, you know the truth yourself," Pablo said, his tone hardening. "And that night, during the heavy rain, the one who actually saved her was me." Pablo finally revealed the truth from the past. Oliver punched Pablo hard in the face. "You promised me we'd be brothers for life. You swore to keep that secret." Pablo wiped the blood from his mouth and shouted back, "I saw you and Luna bully her. I couldn't stand it anymore. It was Luna who pushed her into the water. And what did you do? You saved Luna first." I listened to their argument, and a wave of dizziness hit me. Maybe it was an after effect of the amnesia. Everything went black, and when I woke up again, I was already in a hospital bed. The moment I opened my eyes, I saw Oliver and Pablo standing in front of me, their faces tense with confrontation. "Anna, you're awake." Oliver asked me in a gentle voice. I turned my body away, not wanting to see the face that disgusted me. During the time I was unconscious, I had a long, long dream. When I woke up, all my memories had returned. It turned out, all the years of my blind tolerance were based on a mistake, a misplaced gratitude for a life-saving favor. That night, under the torrential rain, I was rushing back to campus. Maybe the rain was too heavy, the roads too slippery. A car struck me down. I lay on the ground for a long time, with no one coming to help, until he appeared, like a beam of light tearing through the dark clouds. His face was filled with panic as he shouted, hoisted me onto his back, and ran through the rain. Finally, he flagged down a taxi. When I woke up at the hospital, I saw Oliver's face, and naturally assumed he was the one who had saved me. But after hearing the truth from their mouths, the once blurry face in my memories grew clearer. The one who saved me that night wasn't Oliver, it was Pablo. Chapter 7. Anna, you still won't forgive me? Oliver's voice was filled with sorrow, as he half knelt by my bedside. That bitch Luna only got close to me because of the business project. I was just playing around with her. There were no real feelings. The one I love the most is still you, love? And yet he hurt me over and over? He had once acted recklessly, secure in the knowledge that I loved him too much to leave, flirting openly with Luna, right in front of me. It was only thanks to my amnesia that I finally discovered the truth of that night. I felt nothing but pity for my past self, for tolerating so much, seeing me turn away without reacting. Oliver hurried to say, I pulled the security footage from that day. It was Luna who pushed you. I hired a top lawyer. I'm suing her for intentional injury. If you want to sue her, that's your business, I said coldly. I never want to see you again. Hearing me speak at all, Oliver looked encouraged. I've frozen all of her family's projects too. Luna will never benefit from me again. He wanted to say more, but suddenly, his phone rang. After answering it, his expression changed drastically. He turned to Pablo, eyes blazing with fury. Was this your doing? Pablo calmly removed his glasses and looked at Oliver. I followed you for years, not because I cared about how big your empire could get, but because I wanted Anna to have a happy home. But since you betrayed her, I had no choice but to pull the investment. Oliver stared at Pablo in disbelief. Who the hell are you? Pablo smiled faintly. I'm Pablo, the one behind the investment company. Oliver gasped sharply. That name belonged to the largest shareholder of the investment company, someone he had never even met in person. He had even joked about it in the past, teasing Pablo over that name. Now, Oliver slumped onto the ground in defeat. We're brothers. You can't do this to me, he pleaded. Pablo leaned down and whispered softly in my ear. Anna, rest easy. I'll take him outside. Oliver, let's talk outside. Anna needs peace and quiet. Chapter 8. I left the hospital without telling either Oliver or Pablo. I returned to my hometown. After everything that had happened, I realized just how short and bitter life could be. A single misunderstanding had led me to spend all those years bowing and scraping before Oliver. He took my tolerance for granted, hurting me again and again. Our marriage had completely come to an end. I handed everything over to a lawyer to finalize the divorce. On my phone, Oliver turned into a clingy pest, sending constant apologies and greetings every single day. As for Luna, after the investigation confirmed her guilt for intentional injury, she was granted bail pending trial. I personally made sure to press charges. I had nothing more to say to either of them. I never wanted to see them again. Pablo, however, would occasionally send messages asking how I was doing. Back home, I lived a slow, peaceful life, basking under the sun in my yard. Anna, Anna, a familiar voice suddenly called out from outside. It was Oliver. He pushed open the yard gate and saw me sunbathing. I've been looking everywhere for you. It's been so hard finding you, he said breathlessly. I stayed lounging on my chair, ignoring him completely. After all, we were already divorced. Seeing me silent, he continued rambling to himself. The air here is so nice. I'll move here too. Let's start over again. You're single now. I'm single too. Why don't we get remarried? Start over? What a joke. Get out of here. I don't want to see you. Seeing my cold attitude. Oliver's voice trembled and his eyes reddened. Anna, after you left me, I thought about you every single day. I realized you had already become my habit, my everything. Without you, my life is empty. I can't even survive without you. Oliver indeed looked miserable, with stubble all over his face. A far cry from the polished man he used to be. If you don't leave right now, I'll call the police and report you for illegal trespassing. Seeing how firm I was, Oliver panicked. Okay, I'll leave, he said quickly, but I'll come back every day. I'm going to win you back. Just then, the gate, left slightly ajar, was pushed open again. You don't have to come anymore. Anna has already agreed to marry me. Both Oliver and I turned toward the voice. It was Pablo. Oliver's expression shifted slightly when he saw who it was. He looked at me in disbelief. Still lounging on the sun chair. Anna, he's lying, right? I glanced at Pablo. Then at Oliver. I understood what Pablo was trying to do. He was helping me. I nodded. We're already engaged. Would you like to come have a drink at our wedding? Ex-husband? Hearing my confirmation, Oliver seemed to crumble all at once. He stumbled out of the yard. Like a soul that had lost its anchor, I watched his departing figure, feeling a strange sense of closure. Once Oliver was gone, Pablo came closer and scooped me up into his arms. Chapter 9. Put me down. I protested. Pablo asked teasingly. Just now, when I proposed to you, you said yes. When did I say yes? Are you trying to take it back now? I never even finished telling you that story. He said. Oh, please. The whole saving a girl on a rainy night thing? I'm sick of hearing it. What else is there to know? Pablo gently set me down and said, after the girl was taken to the hospital, she woke up and mistook her savior's best friend for the one who rescued her. After they got married, the boy who truly saved her could only think of her day and night, regretting that he hadn't been brave enough to tell her the truth. He never confessed his love. Instead, he humbled himself, staying by her husband's side as an assistant, satisfied just to see the girl he loved from afar. He thought he would spend his whole life like that. But then, the girl was hurt, divorced her husband, and the boy decided that this time, he would be brave. As Pablo spoke with such deep emotion, I couldn't help interrupting. I just want to know, back when he carried her through the rain, why didn't he stay with her at the hospital? What was he thinking? Pablo's eyes drifted toward the distant horizon. The rain was really heavy that night. He said quietly, when I rushed over and saw it was you lying there, I completely panicked. I shouted like a madman, but not a single car passed. I carried you, running non-stop, until I could barely move anymore, and finally flagged down a cab. I got you to the hospital, and begged the doctors to save you first. Then I collapsed. When I woke up, I was lying on a hospital bed next to yours, separated by just a thin curtain. My friend came to visit me, and through that curtain, I heard him confess his love to you, and I heard you say yes. I pinched his arm hard. Why didn't you expose the truth back then? I was afraid of hurting you. My heart fluttered softly. A string that had long been silent finally vibrated again. I leaned forward and pressed my face close to his. Closing my eyes, Pablo, kiss me. The air fell into a brief, heavy silence. I was about ready to punch this idiot. I was being so obvious. And he was still hesitating. When I opened my eyes, ready to scold him, I saw him, tears streaming silently down his face. He was right in front of me, crying quietly. You're a grown man. Why are you crying? I asked softly. He sniffled and said, I've waited so long for this moment. I really love you, Anna. I love you so much. His tears fell onto my hand, their warmth unmistakable. He asked tentatively, like a child, you don't think I'm pathetic for crying, do you? I smiled gently and said, not at all. Maybe you weren't brave enough back then, but standing here crying in front of me now, it only proves one thing: you're kind. At your core, you've always been a truly gentle man. Pablo's body trembled as he pulled me into his arms. Chapter 10. Pablo and I got married very quickly. He said he wanted to give me a grand wedding on our engagement day. Both Oliver and Luna were there. Oliver drank heavily. He got completely drunk, losing all sense of decorum. He staggered over to Luna's table, grabbed a bottle of red wine, and poured it over her head. "Luna, you bitch. It's all because of you. You made me lose the love of my life. It's all your fault. All your fault." Pablo quickly had some relatives and friends pull Oliver away and escorted him out, in front of all our loved ones. Pablo and I embraced each other tightly. "You have to believe. There will always be a gust of wind that meets you unexpectedly. And there will always be a breeze waiting for you somewhere down the road."